new price of a Model Y standard range, when you include the $7,500 rebate, actually makes it less expensive than the average car price in America.
Wow.
Really amazing, considering that just a few months ago, these were $80,000 cars. Now they're less expensive than the average car, which I think for Tesla, this is going to be monumental.
This is the How to Trade Stocks Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Ewell.
Are you ready to effortlessly take the guesswork out of trading in only 10 minutes a day? Well, the 10-Minute Trading Room is exactly what you've been looking for. Head to 10-Minute Trading Room right now to learn more and trade alongside us inside the 10-Minute Trading Room. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch all of our past episodes.
Hello, I'm Brooke Coles. Welcome to the program. It's my pleasure now to bring in Chris Ewell from 10MinuteStockTrader.com. Welcome back to the program today, Chris. Always a pleasure to have your company on here with me.
Britt, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
All right, let's talk about China. Now they've released its GDP numbers. Do you think confidence is finally starting to come back to Beijing to pre-pandemic levels?
Well, I mean, China, more than anybody else, had so much to deal with in the pandemic. And now we're seeing the other side of that coin that the rest of the world had a few months earlier. And realistically, I think that China overinflates its numbers, not just this time, but every time, because they want to prove a point that they really want to be the emerging economy in the world. So right now, I think that the economy and the rest of the world opening up is a great thing. And the GDP numbers might be a little inflated. But in all reality, I think inflation is way more important to them than GDP numbers. And that's the real number that we got to keep an eye on.
So do the GDP numbers have any, changes or moves to the US stock market and what we're going to see with inflation, or is it just a bit of a talk at the moment until we actually see real action from China?
Well, I know this sounds crazy, but if you look at the stock chart of the S&P 500, it's actually unchanged since February of 2022. During that time, it's been up, it's been down, but nothing has actually happened in over a year at this point. So who knows what actually is going to unfold from the number, but a lot of investors are putting cash on the sidelines. They don't like the way that inflation prices everywhere higher, and they're not ready to put their money back into the market. And especially with interest rates being higher now, I know a lot of investors are looking at 2 and 3 year CDs over 5%, and they're thinking to themselves, well, you know what? Economy's kind of crazy right now. I don't know what's going on. 5% guaranteed return looks a lot better than putting my money at risk and maybe seeing another 20+% sell-off in the market.
And what about China leading in terms of the electric vehicle space? I mean, definitely for manufacturing, that's no doubt, and sales as well now. So how do you think Elon Musk is taking this? What's Tesla's response here?
So Tesla stock price is really unchanged very much over the last few weeks. So it's funny when the producer sent me BYD cars. I had actually never heard of the BYD electric cars. I don't know if they're there in Australia, but here I've never seen or heard of one before. In fact, I actually personally just ordered a Tesla last week. So I know that the market for Teslas is very strong right now in the US, and I think it's only going to go further. Here in the US, there's still a $7,500 tax rebate for many Americans who qualify for that, which is actually, this is the craziest stat, new price of a Model Y standard range, when you include the $7,500 rebate, actually makes it less expensive than the average car price in America.
Wow.
Really amazing, considering that just a few months ago, these were $80,000 cars. Now they're less expensive than the average car, which I think for Tesla, this is going to be monumental.
Yeah, amazing. Chris, getting your hands on a Tesla, very lucky there. I mean, can't wait to see you driving around Texas in your Tesla. It just goes to show, as you mentioned, those schemes. I was just in London a couple of weeks back, and everyone was telling me there that they're trying to get rid of old cars and they're giving incentives. So everyone there is driving around in these flash electric vehicles. I mean, is the way forward now with schemes?
I can't imagine that consumers are still putting the brakes on. That's fun right there. Putting the brakes on buying electric cars like they used to. In fact, that was somewhat of an issue in my household. Is we wanted to make sure that when we got an electric car that the charging infrastructure was there. And in our normal shuffle zone, there's plenty of charging to be had, and as well as charging at home every night. But I actually ran the numbers on charging my new Tesla that's going to be coming hopefully very soon, and my wife's SUV, which has a V8 gas engine that takes premium fuel, and it will cost 10 times less money to fuel up the Tesla with electricity than with her car with premium fuel. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, I can't wait to see how that all unfolds. Chris, thank you so much again for your time. We could chat for ages. No doubt we'll be chatting as more movements happen in the market and you get your hands on the steering wheel of your brand new shiny Tesla.
Thanks, Britt. Thanks for having me.
Hey, don't forget, head to 10minutetradingroom.com to learn how to effortlessly take the guesswork out of trading in only 10 minutes a day and start trading right beside us in the 10-Minute Trading Room.